And as we mentioned earlier, President Joe Biden arrived in Italy this afternoon, the site of this year's G7 summit. While at the global gathering, President Biden is expected to meet with Pope Francis. The Holy Father is attending the meetings to discuss approaches to the rise of artificial intelligence. The two have met several times before, both and during Biden's time in the White House. Here with a preview of President Joe Biden's meeting with Pope Francis is Dr. Ken Craycraft, the James J. Gardner Family Chair of Moral Theology at Mount St. Mary's Seminary in Cincinnati, Ohio. He is also the author of the new book, Citizens Yet Strangers, Living Authentically Catholic in a Divided America. Dr. Craycraft, great to be with you today. We appreciate it. A lot to discuss, but first, I want to talk about the significance of the Holy Father attending the G7 summit. How important is that, and what do you expect him to address?
Well, I think it's very important because it shows that the Holy Father is not just the head of all the Catholics in the world, but he's also the head of state of the Vatican. And of course, since the G7 is being held in Italy on the southeast coast, it is appropriate that the Pope is there, both in his capacity as a spiritual leader to the world, not just Catholics, but to the world, but also, of course, in his role as a political leader.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, he's also meeting with President Joe Biden, the second Catholic president in U.S. history. What do you anticipate the two will discuss?
I think that they will stay away from some of the moral issues that animate discussions in the U.S. about the Catholic Church and public life. My guess is that they'll be concentrating mostly on immigration, the difference between economic migration and political or religious migration or refugee issues, things like asylum and so forth, borders and such. And also, of course, I think they'll be talking a great deal about war and peace, the problems of war in the Middle East and Israel, and perhaps the developing broader conflicts in the Middle East. And of course, the war in Ukraine will be high on the agenda. So I think that the president will use this opportunity to discuss those things with Pope Francis. And hopefully Pope Francis is going to give the president a strong moral guidance on what the posture should be in the United States and indeed around the world to these very vexing problems.
Yeah, and according to a recent study from the Pew Research Center, only about 35% of American Catholics view President Biden as favorable. What do you think is behind those numbers? And do you think this meeting with Pope Francis will help to maybe move the needle when it comes to his favorability rating?
Yeah, I'll answer the second question first. I don't think it will move the needle very much. I think that maybe President Biden and his campaign staff thinks that it will, because I don't think there's any doubt that the campaign is going to be involved in this as well, not just the administration and the White House, that they see this as a photo opportunity for the campaign. As to your first question, I think the issue is, for many Catholics, is that they just don't see President Biden reflecting the moral life of the Catholic Church in the way that most Catholics in America understand it.
And before I let you go, Dr. Craycraft, on a different note, back here in the United States, the bishops are meeting in Kentucky. What are the priorities for that meeting for the USCCB?
Well, once again, I think the USCCB is going to say that abortion is the preeminent moral issue in America today, because the issue in itself is very important, but also because it's a bellwether for other issues. But I also think the bishops are going to have high on their agenda immigration again, because the president has just issued an executive order that changes the administration policy on immigration. Some bishops have responded to that in a very negative way. So I think the bishops, when they meet in Kentucky, are also going to be discussing the problems of immigration and how to deal with that in a very measured and practical way, rather than in an extreme way, which the two political parties in the U.S. seem to have reduced immigration to. So I think that the bishops are going to concentrate on that. But the bishops, anytime they meet, they're always going to have abortion on their mind, because abortion is a bellwether issue. It's not just the issue itself, but it's how the issue of abortion is kind of a proxy for all kinds of other moral issues that are also very important to us Catholics in the U.S.
Well, Dr. Craycraft, thank you so much. We really appreciate your insights. God bless.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.